So yesterday, Sony had their state of play, and while I thought it was just okay. I really wanted to get into Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League and all the negativity going around the game, and why I'm very optimistic for it and really excited. Before I do that, do me a favor, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. I'm trying to grow the channel out, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you hit subscribe. Let's get started. So when Gotham Knights and Suicide Squad were both unveiled, fans of the Arkham games were obviously a little disappointed that we were not getting any official Batman game. We were getting spin-offs with different characters, and that's totally understandable. And that's kind of where the negativity towards Suicide Squad started. Gotham Knights releasing and being kind of so-so, and really not having a 60 frames per second mode on console didn't help either. But I'm going to tell you, I'm pretty excited for Suicide Squad. It looks like it has a lot going for it. Let's start off with the gameplay. Just remove the characters, don't even think about the IP, just focus on the gameplay, and for me it looks fun. It looks like you've got a whole bunch of different traversal mechanics. You're just running around, jumping, swinging, flying around this gigantic metropolis city. The gunplay looks good. It looks like the characters each have a bunch of different super abilities. There's melee attacks. Okay, so right there in the gameplay side, we've got reason to be optimistic. Now, story-wise, let's take a look at the story. It's a different kind of story. I'm super excited to be going against the heroes that have been corrupted by Brainiac. It's not your typical run-of-the-mill good guy going against the bad guys. It feels like there's consequences here. Granted, I don't think that we're going to be killing Batman or Superman, but there is potential to be killing some of the other favorite DC superheroes. You're telling me that boss fights against Flash, Batman, Green Lantern, and Superman aren't going to be fun? Come on now. Now for the elephant in the room, which I think everybody is mostly concerned about, is the live service, games as a service element to the game, basically turning it into a looter shooter, which, okay, hey, that maybe we have a little bit of concerns there. But I think there's really one question that you need to ask Rocksteady, and that's, did you look at Avengers and learn anything? Now, if they didn't look at Avengers and play Avengers and see the faults with that game, then there's a big cause for concern. Where I think Rocksteady will be able to do a better job than Crystal Dynamics did with Avengers is, Avengers really only had a few types of enemies and a couple villains for the longest time. I think this game looks like it's going to have a lot of different enemy variety and a lot of different, well, heroes that you're going to fight and boss fights. So I think that right there is going to make the game more fresh to play over and over. Also, with making this a gun type shooter game, it's going to be more fun to get loot. Where in Avengers, you're not changing really anything. You're not changing the look of your hammer for Thor. You're not really changing how your shield works as much. You know, being able to pick different weapons and play with an assault rifle for a while, and then play with a pistol for a while, and have different types of pistols, assault rifles, snipers, shotguns. I think that'll keep the game fresher than what Avengers had. Avengers they didn't do that whole loot type cycle correctly. Lastly, if this is a live service, games as a service, they need to have a content roadmap and content already basically done after the game launches, so that way they're not sitting there forever like Avengers was, or else this game will die. Let's hope that, the multiple delays, they've figured that out and they've got content ready to go. So yeah, outside of like the content roadmap and the live service stuff post-launch, I think this game is really going to surprise a lot of people. There's a lot of negativity around it, but I think once it gets in the hands of reviewers and players, I think it's going to surprise a ton of people. I don't think it's going to win any Game of the Year awards, but I think it's going to be a very good game. Rocksteady, they just don't miss. Rocksteady is a very good developer. They're good at gameplay. They're good at story. They've got a proven track record. So I have a ton of faith that they will nail this. So that's going to do it once again. do me a favor, hit the like button. If you're new here, consider subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And I will see you guys next time. Thanks.
Maybe drown myself in something that is bottomless. Take me back to a place where I felt at home. Take me back to a day when we weren't